Hi, my name is Ken. You could call me Mr. Ken. I'm an environmental educator. I've been educating kids for 35 years. I work in the Everglades and Florida all around the world. Today we're going to be talking about mangroves. What are mangroves? Well, there's some mangroves behind me, and we're going to delve into the three different types that are here in Florida. There's a lot of things that are important about mangroves, and there's a lot of myths and a lot of things that you need to know. But why would a kid sitting in Chicago need to know about mangroves? We'll go into that a little bit later, but trust me, it's very important, and it could have an effect on your life. Then again, maybe it doesn't. But being in fourth grade, it's better than listening to the teachers talk about other things. So sit back and enjoy this short film about mangroves. I hope you learn a lot. You've noticed I've changed clothes. Actually, I've added clothes. There are a lot of little bugs in the mangrove forest, and they're called no-see-ums. They land on you, they scratch you, or they bite you, then you itch for a long time. There's hundreds of thousands of these things. I've been all around the world, and no place other than Sanibel had the bugs been worse. I can't believe I live here because the bugs just drive me nuts. Okay, mangroves is two different words. One's Portuguese, meaning tree. The other's English, means a grove. Those are the two words combined to make up mangroves. We're going to get some close-up pictures of the red mangrove, and we'll talk about the red, the white, and the black. And we'll talk about zonation and things like that. Okay, remember, there will be a test at the end of the film. About the red mangrove, the easiest way to identify them is by their prop root. See how they look like they're reaching out into the water? This helps build islands, slows water down, and helps sediment drop. Propagule, this is the seed of the tree. Actually, it's already been fertilized, so it's a complete plant. Eventually this will get about 5 or 6 inches long. It'll drop off the tree and float to another destination. I'm going to show you what they look like once they root and take root in the mud. You can see these when you're combing the beach. They look like cigars. See the little roots in the bottom? It's a cigar. This is the propagule. Remember, this is an already germinated seed, so it doesn't need to do anything else. So once it comes off the tree, it's ready to go. We'll throw it back and let it become a big tree. I'm going to go down and take some underwater pictures of the red mangrove. Now, if I fall in the water, I don't want to hear any laughing. All right. Got to turn my GoPro on. And now you'll be able to see what it looks like from underwater. The first thing you notice are those cigar-looking propagules. Those are falling off of the red mangrove trees, and they're going to root and become little trees themselves. Notice all the leaves and all the crud in the bottom. This is the beginning of the food web. A lot of microscopic things are eating the leaves, and there's little crabs that come in and eat. And you can see all the shells on the bottom. This is a huge food web. This is what supplies all little baby fish with food. These are the big roots that are anchored into the mud. This is the ones that go up and support the tree. Here's a nice shot of some of the razor clams that grow on the roots. If you snorkel here, it's very easy to get cut up. These are very, very sharp. But there's a tremendous amount of life down here. Lots of fish, lots of really cool stuff. It's a great place to, there's a good shot of how the tree actually goes right up out of the water into the tree. And this is how the tree supports itself. I've taken lots of kids snorkeling in these places, and it's a lot of fun. I've seen thousands of fish, barracuda. I've seen turtles. I've seen manatee in here. Here's a good shot after my foot stirred up some of the dirt and muck. Can you see the bubbles coming up? This is the beginning of the food chain. This is very, very important. All these red mangroves drop tons and tons of leaves into the water. Pretty neat place to snorkel, huh? The only thing is you can only see about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. And depends on where you snorkel. This is kind of an area that doesn't get a lot of flow of water. I'm going to show you later in the film where we have a lot of flow. If you have a lot of flow, a lot of the dirt stays off the bottom. And that's a really neat place to snorkel. There you go. That's the red mangrove. And I'm going to take the camera out there, and we will shoot one of the mangrove tunnels. I'll try and do this without falling in. If I fall in, I'm in big trouble. This area right here was dug out for the road. They took the soil from here and they moved it up and they put it on the road. This led to the creation of these mangrove tunnels. It's a lot of fun to kayak in here. Also, it's a lot of fun to go fishing. There's lots and lots of fish in here. Now we're going to move on and we're going to look at a white mangrove. Remember we talked about the food web? Well, lots of birds actually use these mangroves for nesting. But a big thing is, not only for nesting, but for food. And the guy's looking for a nice little crab, maybe a delicious worm, or something like this. Very cooperative. Good. You birds want to say hi to the guys in Chicago? Look at all the little fish that this cormorant scares up who's going fishing. See all the fish jumping on the top of the surface? Lots of fish. Okay, here we are in front of a big open area of mangroves. We're going to take the camera, show you a little bit more of what's going on. I'll show you some of the bird life here, and also a way to make money on mangroves. Back in the old days, they used to use it to tan leather and also make charcoal out of it. But they don't do that anymore. But there are lots of ways to make money in mangroves. When I was in the 4th grade, I had never thought I'd make money in mangroves. I didn't even know what mangroves were, and I spent 35 years out here teaching people about the different ecology and stuff. So pay attention, you never know. You could end up down here. This is a reddish egret. This is almost always a saltwater bird, and he's one of the few birds that runs around like a nutcase looking for different things that live outside the mangroves. Now he's not in the mangroves, but he hunts right outside them. If it weren't for the mangroves, he wouldn't be here. Just on the other side of him, there's a great big white pelican. It's the largest bird that flies around. Now, you may say, well, Ken, who makes money doing mangroves? Well, look at this. Here comes a tour bus full of people just loving what's going on here. Okay, well, yesterday they had 2,300 people come to Ding Darling. This is one of the largest tourist attractions in Florida. And remember, after you work 30, 40 years, you have to move to Florida to be retired. Look at all those people. He's a tour guide, the bus driver, all the people it takes to keep the bus working and everything. So especially here in South Florida, in Southwest Florida, mangroves are very, very important. We're going to zoom in. These are all, can you tell me what kind of mangroves these are over here? Yeah, look at the roots. That's right, they're red because of the propping roots, the prop roots. There. Okay, over here we have a great egret. This is also one of the birds that come here. There's probably over 100 different types, maybe 200 or 300 types of birds that live and nest and feed in the mangroves. Now, what are some of the qualifications to become a mangrove? 1, it's usually saltwater. 2, it has to be fairly warm. So that's 2 things right there. These mangroves right here, these are white mangroves. You can see the bark, how they're a little bit lighter looking. And if I pull a leaf off of here, I'll take a picture of it so you can see it in closer and closer. But this is the second one of our mangroves we're going to talk about. This is the white mangrove. And like I said, you can see the white bark. That's how it's got its name, white. And then the leaf has 2 different distinctions here. It has a dimple on the top, and on the base of the thing, there's 2 little pimples that we talk about. And I'll take a picture of this so you can see it up closer. But this is our second mangrove, and this is called the white mangrove. It doesn't have the long proper growth like the other one does. This actually has a seed that has to be fertilized, and the seed drops off and floats, and then it goes up into the higher mangroves area. This usually used to be the last mangrove you'd come to. If you come from the sea, the first one you'd run into would be the red mangroves, the second would be the black, and the third one would be the white mangroves. They're usually more inland. But remember, this has all been redone by humans. Hi. See the storm clouds behind me? These mangroves are very, very important. I don't know if you remember, but Hurricane Katrina came in the United States 6, 8, 10 years ago and did a tremendous amount of damage. And the reason the damage was so great was because in the southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, had decided to cut down the mangroves in order to put in holiday homes, hotels, and things like that. These mangroves are very, very important when it comes to protecting the shore. If the mangroves had not been cut down, New Orleans and 1,000 to 2,000 people would probably still be alive today. This is the first line of defense against the ocean. And this is very important because when rising tides and global warming take over, mangroves are more and more important all the time. These are black mangroves. You can see the darker color on the bark. That's how it probably got its name of black. But the big thing is the nematophores are sticking up through the muck. These are gas exchanges. Now the black mangrove would have been in the zonation, would have been right behind the red. So it would go red out to the ocean, then the black, and then the white more inland. Okay, back to the water. Here we had the nematophores. This is from the water looking toward the shore. Here's how you spell nematophores. These are gas exchangers. Here we go back underwater, and these are only had by the black mangroves. I see we got some water on the camera, so we'll just clean the lens. Here's a close-up of how you clean a lens. Oh, gross. You just got licked. That's horrible. Anyway, this is a good picture of the black mangroves. Here we are at the end of our trip. I'm standing here, as you can see behind me, there's some more red mangroves back here. There's another tree behind me. It's called a buttonwood. Sometimes people consider this the fourth mangrove. It does very well in salty water and areas. So it's a big landscaping plant here in Florida. Now, let's talk a little bit about what lives in the mangroves. I've seen manatee, I've seen crocodiles, and I've seen alligators. What do you think would be the most common thing in mangroves? Alligators or crocodiles? Well, if you said crocodiles, you're partly right, because crocodiles can like saltier water than alligators. Most alligators like fresh water. But sometimes the mangroves are in fresh water, and the alligators will be there. Since there are a lot more alligators than there are crocodiles, the chance of seeing an alligator in a mangrove is much greater than seeing a crocodile. But if you go down to the Keys, where there's lots of salt water, lots of mangroves, you'll have a better chance to see a crocodile than you would an alligator. Okay, well that's it. Oh, one more thing. I'm in my backyard right now. I have lots of mangroves. The city made us keep them there. They're very, very pretty. They have lots of wildlife. I've seen otter in my backyard. I've seen alligator. Lots of birds are nesting here. I've seen snakes, and it's just a great place to live. So I hope you had fun watching the film. I had a good time making it. And remember, have fun, and you never know what a mangrove can do for you. Here's a shot of my backyard. Okay, I know you all wanted me to see me fall in the water, so here we go. Are you happy now? Now that you saw me fall in the water? Well, here's what I think. Have fun. Bye.